Okay, thought I'd do a quick video on how to put the camera, mount the camera in your Bumblebee, or this also applies to the Demon, or really any other plane where you're putting the camera in between the fuselage halves. This is one of the Bumblebees, actually a little different version, but we're going to be using a micro cam, a run cam Swift. First thing you want to do is write down your dimensions of the camera, and this one just happens to be, the base of it is it's 20 millimeters square. Okay, the depth of it is like 18 millimeters, and the lens diameter is 12 millimeters. So what I've done is I've drawn out my center line here, and I've really just simply drawn out just the outline of where the camera is going to go. Okay, and all I've done is the first thing I did was I just drew a line back 18 millimeters from the front, of course along the center line there. I drew a line there, and then I drew another line that was like I think it was like 8 millimeters, which is the length of the from the cam to the base. Drew another line there. Then I drew another line 20 millimeters wide, which is the width of the camera, as you can see. And then these two lines are about 11 to 12 millimeters apart, the width of the lens. Now the next we're going to do is we're just going to very simply just route those out to the depths of the camera. So we know the lens is 12 millimeters, so we want the first part here, the lens there, to be 6 millimeters deep on each side, and then the back part here we want it to be 10 millimeters on each side, which is just half the width of the camera. Now once you've drawn those out, just take a sharp knife, and I've already done this, so I'll redo it, but do your lines and and cut your lines straight. Okay, same with here. Cutting these slots here gives the bit something to follow. Cut this as well, sharp knife, and cut your lines. Okay, so next thing I have over here just laid out the depth that I'm going to be cutting the cutout to. I've got a 6 millimeter line, I guess you can see that over there, and I've got a 10 millimeter line, which is what I'm going to set the depth of the bit. Now I'm using my Dremel tool with a depth guide, and the bit that I'm using is a 3/32 end mill bit. You can get off eBay, but there's different bits, an 1/8 inch bit, small bit, anything comes with a Dremel tool. I think there's some tile bits you can get at Home Depot that'll fit your collet that'll work just as well. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to start out at 6 millimeter, the depth of the lens. Okay, so we know that's 12 millimeters wide, so we're going to set the depth 6 millimeters on the side, and we're going to round out the cavity 6 millimeters. So I've gone over here and I've set my depth, as you can see that, to 6 millimeters. So I've got a 6 millimeter depth set. Now I'm very simply just going to route out the cavity 6 millimeters, the whole thing. Okay. Now I've got the whole camera outlined as 6 millimeters, which is just the depth of the lens. Now we want to make the base part of it 10 millimeters deep. Now, before you do that, do yourself a favor. Take that 6 millimeter depth and route your line from the base of your battery cutout through the into the wing, the saddle area there, to give yourself a line or a channel to run your VTX wires through. There we go. That way you've got a place for your wires that'll go all the way in. Makes it easier to run the wiring. Okay. Now that we've got this depth set, now we're going to route the back of the base part out to a depth of 10 millimeters. So I'm going to go over here and set my bit to 10 millimeters. And I'm just going to be careful just to route from behind the camera back, not the camera area, just from behind the camera back. Okay, now if that's routed out, the camera should just kind of drop right in there and fit snug. Okay, and We just very simply got to do the other side, and when the other side is done, I still need to route the deeper channel here. Fold it over. When you're satisfied with the fit, it should be nice and kind of snug, so it'll just push in. So it'll push you in, and what kind of holds it in place is going to be the lens holder right there, or where the lens is at. When you're satisfied with the fit's pretty good, then go inside here and coat this area with E6000 to kind of stiffen it up and give it some strength right there. And that's basically all there is to it. Let me get this other side here real quick. And that thing, be careful not to route up too much this direction, top, because you want to save as much of that at the top there for strength as possible. Now, we've got this side done. So, the two halves should fit together. And when you're done, the camera fitting like that, all I'm going to do is glue it together a little bit, and the camera should fit kind of snug in there just like that. As you can see, whoops, away from the camera, it should fit just snug in here. And that's really basically all there is to it. It's just really not that hard.